Hi, I'm Wahnita, and I'm going to teach you today how to make an accordion card, and we're going to highlight the My Treasured Kutz Majestic Mountain Range die. So here's our card, and let's get started. To begin, we're going to cut our base paper, and it's going to be cut at 6.5 inches by 10 inches long. And we're going to score it at 5. Next, we're going to cut our photo paper, and it's going to be cut at 6.5 inches by 5 inches to match our base. So together they will be a perfect match. And again, we're going to take a sheet of acetate and we're going to cut it at 6.5 inches by 5 inches so everything can be layered together. So you can see it with your photo paper. And then we're going to cut 2 pieces in the size of 6.5 inches long, and we are going to score at 5/8, 1 inch, 1 3/8, and 1 6/8. After you've cut 2 of these, you're going to then do your folds. Fold along your lines in an accordion style. And you can use your bone folder just to give it a nice good crease. And you're going to end up with 2 pieces like this. And this is going to be your top and your bottom for on your acetate. So let's begin our card, and we're going to start stamping out our images. And I'm going to use a scenery stamp, and we're going to ink it up really good. And I'm going to start with my base so I can add my mountains in. Make sure you cover your full stamp. And I don't like having definite lines, so I like to take a piece of paper towel and just kind of smooth out some spots. Just move a bit of the ink from where I don't want it. And then I'm going to center it, and I'm going to actually overlap this just a bit. Actually, my first one, I'm going to overlap just a wee bit. Press down nice and firm. Make sure that you're covering your full sheet with your image. There's my first stamp. And then I want to add some more to it. So I don't want to leave some empty gaps. So I'm going to just kind of add in to fill in that empty space. And again, I'm just going to kind of smooth things out so we don't have a bunch of black running all over. And I'm going to use this little indent right around the indent here to make it go nice and smooth together. I'm going to bring them nice and close so that the image flows. And again, pressing down hard. Make sure your full image is going to appear. And I'm going to do the same to the other side. Again, removing a little bit of ink so it's not too heavy. And again, I'm going to try and come in nice and close. Kind of overlap the picture so it all blends together nicely. And as you can see, I now have a nice completed bottom scene. Now we're going to do our mountain range. So here's my die cut. So this is the Majestic mountain range, and this is part of the sheet that was removed from the top. So I've cut it so that I can use it as a template, and as you can see, I've used it as a template before. I am going to set the paper down where I want it. You can tape it down if you would like. Let's go ahead and tape this down. A couple little strips on the back. Okay, now we have our stamp inked. We're just going to lay it over top, pressing down. And there we have part of our first image. I don't know how far I can go over, so I'm just going to take some of the ink off of here. And I'm going to add more mountains. Pressing down firmly. I'm going to take off a little bit. I'm going to take off this end mountain. I'm just going to use this first mountain to fill in the one space. Then we're going to put in our final mountain. Make sure you're always pressing firmly. I have one little spot here. I could probably use just a little more ink, but we'll see how that is with our die. So our die is going to fit. And I'm just going to put a little bit, just a little bit of the top here has some ink still, so I'm just going to tap that one in just to fill that spot a little bit. Okay, now we're going to do the bottom area of our mountains, and we're not going to need quite as much. So I'm just going to do the top half, and what you want to do is just blend that into the rest of your scene. So I'm just going to go in and make sure you don't cover the very bottom. So I'm just going to put in a few more mountains. I'm just going to take this over here, put a bit more mountains in. And I got one little spot here that I'm just going to put a little bit more. And then you can remove your paper and you have your scene ready to be colored. So we'll be back in just a moment as soon as the ink dries, and we'll color our scene in. Yes, and I'm going to start with my Adirondack Aqua, which is a great base coat to use. I'm going to use my stylus with my sponge nib, just lightly tapping. I don't want to bring too much color on here, just a bit, to give it a nice base. As you can see, I'm just kind of pulling the color along. Tapping it in. Now that I have my base blue on, I'm going to switch, and I'm going to use tumbled glass. Bit darker shade. And I just slowly start increasing how dark the color is. I'm going to go a fair bit darker this round. you don't need to color in the whole area. You want to give it some light reflection. So you're just going to drag your color along. And do your water until the darkness that you want it to be. You can highlight the edges. Even darker. Then you're going to color your rock. Use a new one, and I'm going to give them a bit of a mossy look. So I'm going to use some Old Olive from Stampin' Up, and I'm just going to tap in some color. And just tap in color where you want it to be. And I'm going to switch to stone color. So I'm just going to turn my nib around, and then I can use the same one. And I'm just going to tap in some color onto the stones. There's no right or wrong for coloring these in. It's all whatever you want, whatever colors you like. Now I'm going to add a bit of highlight to my mountains. And I'm just going to add a bit of shading in. Just give it a bit more depth. Okay, now to color in the sky. Again, we're gonna start with a light blue. So I'm gonna use a new nib. And again, I'm gonna start with my Adirondack Aqua. And I'm just gonna start very lightly. Give it a bit of a base. I'm going to add some tumbled glass and start darkening it up a bit. Again, you're not doing the full area. You're going to leave some highlights for the sky. To show the light coming through, so give it some contrast. I'm going to use my Salty Ocean next. Not going to go right to the mountains because we have the dye that's going to go on there, the die cut. Step it up and go to the next shade of blue. And again, just drag that color in a bit more at the edges, highlighting the edge of the sky. And just color it to the desired color that you want, or as dark as you want. I'm going to add a bit more highlight to the edge. So let's let that dry for a minute, and then we'll put our mountain die cut on to complete our picture, and then we'll be ready to assemble our card. We're now ready to add our Majestic mountain range die cut by My Treasured Kutz. So we want to make sure that we're flowing the same way as our mountain to the back. And I'm going to lay that on, remembering where I started. Glue off of there. So now that's on. So now we're going to glue our pieces on. So I am going to glue my top and my bottom. And my favorite glue is Quick Grip. And I'm just going to apply glue onto the back here. Now keep in mind this piece, the widest piece, is going to be your backing on the back of your card. Once you have the top, then add some glue to your bottom part. Make sure you line everything up. So I have that. I'm going to take my base, that ready. Now I'm going to apply glue to the back. I tend to use my Quick Grip a lot because it keeps the card solid, and then you're going to apply this to your base. Make sure you line it up. Whoops. So now we're going to apply our acetate. So we're just going to do the small ledge. I'm going to put some acetate, some Quick Grip along here. We're going to take our acetate and we're going to lay it on there. Again, lining it up. Press it down firmly. And we're going to apply our last bit. To add our final layer of, final piece of the acetate on. And just make sure you line it up good before your glue dries. And it's complete. You have your accordion card. Then you can decorate the front as you wish, and it easily collapses to go into your envelope. And that's the end of the tutorial for today. I hope you'll join me for the next one. And until then, happy crafting!